Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're actually going to be talking about Kindred Fates. So it was brought to my attention, this Reddit article titled Sky Mills Controversy in Entitlement. So roughly about a year ago, I actually made a video basically talking about Kindred Fates and why I don't really cover it. And guess what? It's a year later and it's pretty much in the same state. No beta, really no release date. You know, bi-weekly updates are really lackluster, and it just seems like there's not much really going on the backside. It just, you know, very frustrating, you know, especially for you know, Kickstarter backers and stuff. But yeah, I found this Reddit article and I was just like, as you guys see, it's pretty massive. You could pretty much just, like, when you read it, you can just feel it. But what I will do is I will pretty much summarize what the article's all about. It was written by outrageous_let_2824. I'm not a Reddit guy. I'm not sure if that's anonymous or if that's a normal username. I don't use Reddit. I try to avoid this place. Typically, there's just too much drama. But with this game, I feel like it would be kind of my duty to let you guys know exactly the good and the bad, just with any type of game. And regardless, I feel like this needs to be brought, regardless of like how you guys like feel, like how accurate the statement this particular user, you know, has brought up. Because honestly, if you guys look down in the comments, there's a really more damning one that kind of was brought up to my attention here by lopsided accident 887. So we'll actually talk about that later. But basically, this whole massive dump here is basically talking about Sky Mills initially received strong support and $680,000 in funding from backers for their Kindred Fates video game. They released the alpha on time, but later allowed anyone to buy the game on Steam, making backers feel their contributions were less special. Controversies arose with the game's availability on the Switch and delays in its release. Sky Mills admitted to misleading backers about alpha and beta access on the Switch. I do want to like put this into perspective, guys. This is all a summary off of this article. This isn't like, you guys can take this as, you know, a grain of salt, but honestly, a lot of this information kind of might have a lot of factual backing to it in a sense, because honestly, I haven't seen an official statement from Sky Mills really anywhere, and the stuff that I've seen, or at least the screenshots that have been provided, like Andrew, the community manager, really hasn't, basically just says, oh, they're not factual, but with no context or any proof to kind of, you know, to basically debate this. So I'm just assuming at this point Sky Mills is just going to stay silent. But yeah, basically the article basically continues on, like, further issues included delays in the full game's release, which honestly they did kind of stealth launch it. If you guys or not stealth launched it, but they stealth delayed it through a Steam, basically they changed the date on Steam and didn't let anybody know about it, which is freaking crazy. They only got caught and basically was called out on it, and then magically it was put in the next news article, which is kind of shady in a sense. So basically, let's see, which was pushed back multiple times. I mean, yeah, it's still being pushed back, and with no clear timeline. Financially, Sky Mills claimed more funds were needed despite initial Kickstarter support. This raised doubts about their budget management and progress on the game, which so far has only resulted in a combat arena alpha. Which honestly, guys, the alpha's not, like, it's not that crazy. It's just kind of a basic alpha at this point. Let's see. Basically, backers feel neglected compared to Sky Mills' performance to inexperienced developers. And that's another thing. Like, Joey, one of their main developers, he's not even on the team anymore, and like he's lost his little Sky Mills red tag too. So like he doesn't even have the role in in the Discord. So I'm kind of curious if they left on bad terms or good terms, like the actual story. Like publicly, we'll probably never know exactly what happened, behind closed doors. But like for me personally, there's probably some stuff happening on the backside, but unfortunately, I'll never know. And then basically the article, can't even talk. The article also basically says SkyMills Studios' reputation is poor. They want to be treated like a top-tier studio, but they ask for patience as an indie company making their first game, despite claiming experience. Their development is slow, with the alpha still in progress after 4 years. Their PR department is also criticized. Refunds are refused. Fearing a domino effect, regular updates are given, but only focus on alpha improvements. Despite saying alpha work was done, they resumed it while keeping updates unclear. Yeah. Honestly, what they basically mean is, like, I swear to God, like every other time I read this thing, it's like netcode, netcode, netcode. That is just a general blanket statement stating that they just worked on the networking code. That literally can mean anything. It's just a blanket statement, which is very frustrating from a backer's point of view, or anybody that's, looking at the game. It just doesn't really mean anything at this stage. And then basically further controversy arose when a fully functional beta was shown at a convention but was not released to backers. So I've seen the footage from I can't remember who. I saw the YouTube video. Someone gave me the link, and honestly, it looked like alpha footage. I'm not gonna lie. Like, unless that was not a full, like, or at least the video that I saw is not a proper footage of it. Honestly, it looked like alpha footage to me, to be honest. But I don't know. I wasn't at the convention, and I could only go off of just the the video footage. And honestly, it just looked like alpha footage to me, or like alpha gameplay. Let's see. Instead, they updated the alpha with beta features, causing confusion. Yeah, that was my thing. Like, I don't understand why they updated the alpha again. Like, they need to be on beta by now. Only potential investors saw the beta. So I got questions about, like, the whole investor thing. Like, they claim they have an NDA on a, like, investment or like a publisher, and that was a while ago. Like, was that a lie at this point? I honestly don't know, because at this point I think they just made it up. But I don't have any facts. I can only go off of what's been said. And I just personally, I think it's highly unlikely a publisher would make any indie studio sign an NDA just in the middle or just the beginning of talks. I think that's asinine. I would never sign anything like that. But I don't know. I don't run a video game development company, and just this whole situation is just, it's really bad. And then the article also basically is talking about overall SkyMills has kept updates minimal. I completely agree. Leaving backers feeling disconnected and disappointed with lack of progress and transparency. Oh, the transparency is so blatant. There's so many conflicting. The problem is, like, I have a full-time job. I have kids. I cannot put in the CoffeeZilla effort. Like, I wish CoffeeZilla would honestly do this and I guarantee he would find you would find this would be a massive story, honestly. But I just don't have the resources to spend CoffeeZilla time to go into research, and it's just, But the transparency, like, and the lack of progress, like honestly, the Trello boards, I feel like that was a slap in backer, like for the backers, like, because honestly, that's like everybody publicly knows about the Trello boards. That was supposed to be a backer only thing, but now it's like thrown out to everybody. And then many of the backers are frustrated, which, yeah, I would completely agree. And then Sky Mills' defense of their game and conduct, they admit that misleading backers. Obviously, this is from the perspective of from the article, not, this is not like 100% factual. This is just the article's opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. And then basically stated they only posted a release date because of Kickstarter required it, and the funding amount was just to get started. And then updates showed pictures and videos of improvements, but some backers find these updates basically just lackluster. Their Discord community is small and often hostile to new inquiries. Yes, their Discord can be very hostile. I'm not gonna lie, it's very hostile. And then their Kickstarter has received many complaints. Like, if you go to their Kickstarter page, like, it's pretty bad. But still hasn't acted, or let's see, complaints, but Kickstarter hasn't acted against Sky Mills, whose goal now is to find more funding from a publisher. Yeah. I'm gonna be real, guys. They're not getting a publisher unless they essentially sign away the rights of this game. They would have to sign the intellectual property or the IP and the copyright. Basically anything that belongs to this game, they would need to sell the rights off to. I just don't see any publisher, because at this point this game has been sitting for, at least in the alpha state, for 3+ years. And if you look at the numbers, you're barely getting 3 people playing the game in the last 24 hours. I haven't verified when I made the video, but the last time I checked, there was like only 3 people that played in the last 24 hours. And a publisher is not going to want to touch that. Sky Mills is kind of one of their biggest mistakes they did. They should have signed with the publisher immediately after the Kickstarter. But unfortunately, I don't know why Rob or the rest of the team or whoever makes the decisions on that, they just didn't act on it. So it's very frustrating. Let's see, basically, let's see, whose goal now is to find more funding. Yeah, sorry, I'm just reback. So backers feel mistreated, seeing Sky Mills' behavior as predatory and greedy. Concerns include potential microtransactions in the game. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I will say that was one thing they were definitely adamant about, is not having microtransactions in the game. But honestly, at this point, I don't know what to believe, because they're supposedly going to have a turn-based feature in the game, which, if you look at it, guys, that's essentially creating a second game. I just don't see turn-based being added to the game. Unless it's going to be like added post, I just don't see that realistically being added. Even though it was a Kickstarter tier that was, that was achieved. And then basically the end of the article basically says Sky Mills claims to act in everyone's best interest, but backers are left feeling insulted and disconnected. I would completely agree with that. I would completely agree with that, because honestly, I just saw that they just made an announcement that they are switching to monthly news articles now. Where did they get that information saying that was where that was the best? That's what everybody wants. Where did they have this survey poll? Because I definitely didn't see it. I didn't see it in Discord. I didn't see it on any of the socials. And by the way, they're switching from X to Blue Sky, so I didn't see it on any of those platforms. But honestly, my question, like what I said in the beginning of the video, this comment kind of caught my attention here. Is from Lopsided Accident 887. It basically is saying here has been waiting for more people to start clocking in on the project. I mean, it's been 5 years, guys. And then one thing I don't see mentioned often is the wedding between the head developers that happened shortly after the Kickstarter was funded. Interesting. So Rob and Tori got married right after the... Okay, let's actually click on this link. I'm actually kind of curious. This is pretty interesting. Okay, so see page 2. Okay, so we are going to go page 2. Yeah, right here, guys. It is confirmed. Rob and Tori did get married. Interesting. That's... Whoever found that, man, that's freaking solid. Jeez. And here's another one. One of their developers also came to Reddit concerned as Sky Mills intended to pay them a year in advance. Said dev, no longer works. Yeah, that's Joey. So, okay. So this is a very lost nomad. Remember that name, guys. Because I'm kind of curious what this is. Oh, okay. This is Joey's GitHub. Very last nomad. Okay, so that does prove that's Joey's account. So what does this actually say? So hi, first time poster, but I figured this crazy compensation plan warranted some advice. For various tax reasons, I do not fully understand my employer, which is Sky Mill Studio, would like to pay me my entire salary for 2021 in advance, actually doing the work. This will look like a lump sum check for $50,000. Okay, guys, there you go. Joey got paid $50,000 for the whole entire year. So if you guys want to do the math, at least we got a confirmation here. So I have quite a bit of experience budgeting, so yada yada yada. Of course, let's see, is there anything else? It's just crazy that someone's someone's just openly asking for, if this is like, that's not, like, I'm not gonna lie, that's not normal for a company to pay a year's worth of salary. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You would pay them weekly or bi-weekly. Like, like what this guy says, it's like red flags. Interesting. Is there anything else? Yeah, like this guy's saying red flags. So what happens when you get fired or furloughed? Interesting. But yeah, I'm not gonna go dive into that, but even just like, that's just really interesting. But like what the comment says here, does this prove they use the money for personal gain? That's talking about the wedding. Nope. I will agree it is fishy timing. And it's strange, like you said, how they're supposedly out of money already. That is definitely interesting. And then they end, this particular person's like, either way, rip to anyone who backed this. Scams like this are killing indie projects. That's definitely a strong word to use, but in some people's eyes, this game may be a scam in people's eyes. At this point, if they just drop the alpha, I mean, in the sense of the word scam, it's not. But in some people, they see it as the big picture. They were promised a game, and this is definitely not what they backed. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this this whole article to your guys' attention. You guys can bring and draw your own conclusions, but at this point, all we know factually is it is 2025. We don't have a beta. We don't have any timeline for anything regarding beta or full release. They updated the alpha for the first time in a hot minute, and I don't know what else to give you guys, like, other than they're switching their news articles to monthly, which hopefully that means they're actually going to put some more meat and potatoes and actually give us something that's better than just some generic stuff that seems to be regurgitated every other, news article. Maybe they'll actually add some, some actual video clips and footage, because honestly, a lot of the footage they show is no more than 60 seconds. And to me, that's kind of lackluster at this point. But yeah, overall, guys, let me know what you guys think down below, what your guys' opinion is. Obviously, you guys can draw your own conclusions to this. It's definitely not a good look for Sky Mills or, Kindred Fates. Is this game going to get made? Hard to say at this point. Obviously, I'll make another video in the future, but I honestly, at this point, I really don't care. This game's kind of just lost its appeal, lost its, it's been mismanaged, and it's just really, I don't really want to make content about it, but this article was definitely, worth kind of bringing up. So if there is anything that I think you guys might want to know, or at least you guys can draw your own conclusions, I'll make another video. But for now, I probably won't be doing any other updates or any other videos regarding this game. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think, because I definitely want to hear, both sides. Do you guys believe Sky Mills, or do you guys believe this article, or are you guys a frustrated backer, 5 years later still waiting for, a game? Let me know down below. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.